the doorway, barefoot in the cold, watching you pack up the stories we told. You tossed your leather bag into the passenger side, refusing to look at me, swallowing your pride. The engine sputtered, then roared into the night, a mechanical beast ready for flight. The rain mixed with the tears falling down my face as you slowly backed out of our sacred space. I'm watching your fading taillights in the dark, two glowing embers leaving a burn on my heart, bleeding red into the black of the midnight rain. A one-way ticket down the boulevard of pain. I wanna run down the driveway and scream out your name, but I'm just watching the taillights extinguish the flame. The street lamps reflect on the wet asphalt road, a lonely path where our beautiful history flowed. I remember the day that you drove up this street. The world was so perfect, the victory sweet. Now every mile you drive takes you further away, and there isn't a word I could possibly say. The silence that follows is louder than a drum. I'm terrified of the empty man I've suddenly become. I'm watching your fading taillights in the dark, two glowing embers leaving a burn on my heart, bleeding red into the black of the midnight rain. A one-way ticket down the boulevard of pain. I wanna run down the driveway and scream out your name, but I'm just watching the taillights extinguish the flame, fading to black. Oh, you're not coming back. I woke up in the dark, shivering and cold, feeling like a story that's already been told. I walked into the bathroom, turned on light and stared at the stranger who keeps me up at night. There are lines around the eyes, a shadow on the face, a man completely lost in time and outer space. I raised my fist in anger, couldn't take the view, because the man inside the glass is the one who ruined you. I'm looking at a shattered mirror on the wall. 7 years of bad luck waiting for the fall. 1,000 fractured pieces lying on the floor, reflecting all the love that doesn't live here anymore. I try to piece them back, but they cut my hands to the bone. A splintered reflection of a man who dies alone. Every jagged shot shows a different kind of pain, a mosaic of a life that was washed down the drain. There's a piece with your smile, a piece with your tear, a piece reflecting everything I've come to feel. I sweep them in a pile, try to throw them in the trash, but some reflections survive the heavy crash. I can't escape the monster that I finally become. I'm staring at the damage that my foolish hands have done. I'm looking at a shattered mirror on the wall. 7 years of bad luck waiting for the fall. 1,000 fractured pieces lying on the floor, reflecting all the love that doesn't live here anymore. I try to piece them back, but they cut my hands to the bone. A splintered reflection of a man who dies alone. Just broken glass and an empty room. Opened up my yearbook from the class of '85, looking at the faces when we felt so alive. Tucked between the pages, fragile, brown and dry, was the white rose that you wore under the starry sky. Prom night in the gymnasium, streamers pink and blue, the only thing that mattered in the entire world was you. The petals are like paper, crumble so mute. I pinned the flower on you, careful of the thorn. It was the greatest moment since the day that I was born. But seasons always change, and teenagers grow up fast, leaving behind the artifacts of an innocent past. I wanna go back to the gym and hold you in my arms, safe from the future and all of its cruel harms. A wilted corsage from a beautiful spring, a dried up memory that makes my heart string. We slow dance to the ballad in the center of the floor. We swore we'd be together forever and a day more. Now the music is over, the decorations torn down, and I'm holding on to a flower that has withered and brown. Just dry petals, fading youth.
Cardboard boxes stacked up high against the living room wall. I've stripped away the paintings, taken down them all. The hardwood floors are swept, the curtains are drawn tight. I'm moving out tomorrow at the very first light. This house was supposed to be our fortress, strong and grand. Now it's just a monument to a castle in the sand. Every time I speak your name, it bounces off the wood, a cruel acoustics reminding me of what was good. There are echoes in the empty hall tonight, ghosts of our laughter taking
midnight in the study, the desk lamp glowing bright. I'm staring at a piece of paper, perfectly blank and white. I've got a ribbon full of ink and a million things to say, but the words are all tangled up, standing in the way. I strike the heavy keys, trying to spell it out, trying to explain the darkness and the heavy, lingering doubt. The carriage returns, the cylinder starts to spin, but I don't even know exactly where I should begin. These are my typewriter tears, bleeding through the page, a mechanical confession of my sorrow and my rage. Every letter is a bullet, every sentence is a cry, a desperate written manuscript explaining the goodbye. I'm hammering the alphabet, breaking off the keys, a literary monument to a man upon his knees. I crumpled up the first draft and threw it on the floor, beside the dozen others I had written just before. I'm sorry it looks so empty when it's typed in Korea font. It doesn't capture half the pain or the forgiveness that I want. My fingers are exhausted, my eyes are burning red, trying to resurrect a love that is tragically dead. I wanna rip the ribbon out and tie it round my heart, to hold the shattered pieces before they fall apart. These are my typewriter tears, bleeding through the page, a mechanical confession of my sorrow and my rage. Every letter is a bullet, every sentence is a cry, a desperate written manuscript explaining the goodbye. I'm hammering the alphabet, breaking off the keys, a literary monument to a man upon his knees. Yours truly, forever. It's 4 in the morning, I'm staring at the ceiling, numb to the bone. I've lost all my feeling. The television showing a static snow screen, loneliest picture that I've ever seen.
I reach for the telephone, sitting by the bed,
Just to hear the silence echoing in my head.
the copper wires are carrying a heavy load. They can't connect me to your secret road. I'm falling asleep to a dial-tone lullaby, a steady humming frequency, a technological sigh. It's the only voice that talks to me in the dead of the night. Since you took the sunshine and shut out the light, no more I love you, no more sweet good nights, just a dial-tone lullaby, singing till the morning light.
I press play on the machine, listening to your old voice.
Leave a message, you said, like I had a choice. I rewind it over and over, catching every breath, holding on to the audio to cheat emotional death. But the tape is wearing thin, the fidelity is poor, and I know you're not waiting on the other side of the door. I wanna cut the cord and throw the phone away. But what if you decide to call me back someday? I'm falling asleep to a dial-tone lullaby, a steady humming frequency, a technological sigh. It's the only voice that talks to me in the dead of the night. Since you took the sunshine and shut out the light, no more I love you, no more sweet good nights, just a dial-tone lullaby, singing till the morning light. Humming in the dark.
The neon sign is buzzing, casting shadows on the floor. I walk into the diner through the heavy glass door. I slide into the corner booth, the leather's cracked and old. The air inside this sanctuary is bitter, damp and cold. I trace the wooden table where we carved our initials deep, a monument of promises that we couldn't ever keep. The waitress brings a menu, but she knows I cannot eat. I'm just a fan
I remember when we sat here on the night we finally met. You were wearing blue jeans and smoking a cigarette. We talked until the sun came up and painted the city gold. I thought I had a story that would never grow old. Now the waitress gives a sympathetic, heavy little sigh. She's seen 1,000 broken men with water in their missing you, just me tonight in the corner booth.
Sky bruised purple, turning into black. There's a storm on the horizon, and I'm not looking back. Tires screaming on the asphalt, tearing up the night. I'm driving like a madman, trying to catch the light. You told me I was reckless, a danger to myself, but you left my bleeding heart upon the dusty shelf. Every flash of lightning illuminates the truth, the empty passenger seat and the wasted youth. I'm chasing the thunder to drown out your name, riding the lightning
until the rising sun. Let it rain, let it pour.
Sitting on the fire escape, 5 stories in the air, looking down at the concrete, pretending I don't care. The city is a grid of yellow lights and midnight blue, but every single alleyway just points me back to you. A stray dog is barking at a shadow in the street, a lonely kind of rhythm for a broken man's defeat. The neon from the liquor store is painting my face red as I replay the very last words that you ever said. It's midnight on the fire escape, closer to the sky, watching all the yellow cabs and shattered dreams roll by. I'm suspended in the darkness, hanging by a thread, trying to untangle all the chaos in my head. The metal is freezing, but it matches my cold soul. Losing you is finally taking its heavy toll. I light a cigarette just to watch the embers glow, a tiny spark of warmth in a world that's turned to snow. I look across the alley at an illuminated room, some other couple dancing, ignoring impending doom. I want to shout across the gap and warn them of the fall, but I'm just a silent spectator leaning on the wall. I'm trapped on the outside, looking through the glass, waiting for the agonizing pain to finally pass. It's midnight on the fire escape, closer to the sky, watching all the yellow cabs and shattered the darkness, hanging by a thread, trying to untangle all the chaos in my head. The metal is freezing, but it matches my cold soul. Losing you has finally taken its heavy toll. Just ashes falling down to the street. Riverfront is quiet, the streetlights wear a halo. The mist is rolling in, moving heavy, moving slow. I pull my trench coat collar up against the bitter chill, walking past the rusted gates of the old abandoned mill. This is where we used to meet when the city went to sleep, making midnight promises that we both failed to keep. The moisture in the air is mixing with my tears, washing away the clarity, amplifying my fears. I'm just footsteps in the fog, wandering the street, searching for a shadow that I'm never gonna meet. A silhouette of sorrow blending in with the gray, a ghost who doesn't know that he has lost his way. I call your name out loud, but the vapor swallows the sound. I'm lost inside the mist, and I don't wanna be found. I stand upon the bridge where we carved our names in wood. I'd rip it from the railing if I only understood how two people so connected could drift so far apart, leaving a gaping canyon
doesn't have to ask. She sees the heavy burden behind my smiling mask. It's 4 a.m. at the diner on the edge of the county line. I'm pouring granulated sugar, pretending that I'm fine. The jukebox in the corner hasn't played a song in hours, and my hope is wilting faster than a vase of cut flowers. I stir the cup in circles, watching the whirlpool spin. A bitter little metaphor
The radio was playing that old familiar tune, the one we used to dance to beneath the harvest moon. I pour a glass of red wine and push the table back, stepping on the floorboards, walking on the track. The living room is empty, the curtains are all drawn. I'm pretending you're still here, pretending you're not gone. I hold out my right hand to an invisible embrace, tears falling softly down my tired, weathered face. I'm dancing with a memory, swaying in the dark, waltzing with a phantom that left a heavy mark. One step forward, two steps back into the past, trying to make a fleeting, ghostly moment last. The saxophone is crying out a melancholy song, while I dance with the memory of where I belong. I can almost feel your head resting on my shoulder, but the air inside my arms is getting steadily colder. We spin around the coffee table, a tragic little show, a solitary dancer with nowhere else to go. The neighbors probably think I've completely lost my mind, but they don't know the treasure that I am trying to find. The music starts to fade, the song is almost done, and I'm still dancing in the dark, a party of just love. Dancing with a memory, swaying in the dark, waltzing with a phantom that left a heavy mark. One step forward,
the windshield wipers swinging in a hypnotic beat. I'm driving away from the memories of our street. I pull up to the barrier, roll the window down. The rain is washing over this sleepy, broken town. I reach into my pocket for a heavy silver coin, leaving behind the only world I ever wanted to join. The attendant doesn't look at me, he just takes the toll. He doesn't know he's holding the pieces of my soul. I'm passing through the toll booth out of town, watching the kingdom of our love slowly burning down. The red light turns to green, but it feels like a mistake. Every mile I travel is another bone to break. There's no U-turn on this highway, no turning back the clock. Just a one-way ticket past the final emotional block. I throw my leather jacket on the empty passenger seat, a hollow standing for the girl I couldn't keep. The radio is playing a sad and familiar tune underneath the hidden glow of a clouded, crying moon. I press the pedal to the metal, trying to find some speed to outrun the desperate, undeniable ache I need. The barrier goes up and I cross the county line, leaving everything that ever mattered far behind. I'm passing through the toll booth out of town, watching the kingdom of our love slowly burning down. The red light turns to green, but it feels like a mistake. Every mile I travel is another bone to break. There's no U-turn on this highway, no turning back the clock. Just a one-way ticket past the final emotional block. Just driving on into the dark. Pulled my old jean jacket from the closet shelf, looking in the mirror, barely recognize myself. There's a patch on the shoulder that you sewed on for me. and the color is gone. Just like the hope that I've been hanging on. It kept me warm through the bitter winter chill, but it can't fix a broken heart. It never will. Our love is like this faded denim blue, worn out at the edges, torn completely through. We started out so strong, stitched together tight, but we slowly unraveled in the middle of the night. Now it's just a relic from the year of '88, a beautiful disaster, a cruel twist of fate. I found a crumpled movie ticket in the pocket deep, brought back all the memories that make me wanna weep. We sat in the back row, hiding from the screen, the most perfect picture that I had ever seen. But movies always end, and the credits have to roll, leaving this denim jacket and an empty soul. I tried to wash the stains out, but they're here to stay, like the permanent marker you used to write my name. Our love is like this faded denim blue, worn out at the edges, torn completely through. We started out so strong, stitched together tight, but we slowly unraveled in the middle of the night. Now it's just a relic from the year of '88, a beautiful disaster, a cruel twist of fate. Faded blue, torn in two.
Your motorcycle jacket hanging on the chair, I can still smell the smoke and the rain in your hair. Heavy black leather with the silver zippers bright, a suit of armor for the dangerous night. You wore it like a king of the underground. Whenever you came riding into my lonely town, I traced the silver studs with a trembling hand, wishing you were here to make me understand. Midnight leather wrapped around my heart, keeping me warm. I can hide. We rode out to the canyon under the pale moonlight, holding on to your waist with all of my might. The engine was screaming, eating up the road, running away from the heavy overload. But you were a rebel with a wandering eye, and I was just a pit stop under the starry rode off into the fog and never looked back, leaving my world painted in midnight black. Midnight leather wrapped around my heart, keeping me warm since we drifted apart. I put it on my shoulders, pretending it's you, holding me close like you used to do. It's heavy with the weight of the tears I've cried, a dark, beautiful shell where I can hide. Midnight leather still smells like you. Neon sign buzzing through the pouring rain. I'm sitting at the counter, nursing the same old pain. 3 a.m. on a Tuesday, the city is asleep, but I've got all these memories that cut too deep. The waitress pours the coffee, asks if I'm alright. I tell her I'm just hiding from the ghost tonight. The jukebox in the corner is playing our old song, reminding me exactly where everything went wrong. These are my midnight diner confessions, lost inside a maze of my own obsessions, spilling all my secrets to a stranger in the dark, trying to put a band-aid on a bullet to the heart. I'm drinking bitter coffee to stay awake and see if you might walk right through that door and come back to me. I leave a folded dollar on the Formica bar, wondering if you're looking at the very same star. Do you remember the booth right by
pouring coffee, waiting for you.
Glowing blue against the living room wall. I'm watching infomercials, waiting for the sky to fall. It's 3 in the morning, the city's dead and quiet, but inside my chest there's a heavy, raging riot. A man is selling miracles for $19.99. I'd pay $1 million just to say that you were mine. The volume's turned down low, but the silence is too loud. I'm trapped beneath the shadow of a heavy thunderous cloud. It's a 3 a.m. broadcast, speaking to the night, a digital companion in the artificial light. I'm wide awake and dreaming of the days when you were here, drowning in the static of another wasted year. The television preacher says to bow my head and pray, but God doesn't listen when you're this far away. I wrap myself in a blanket that still smells like your hair, staring at the anchor woman, pretending she's aware of the absolute disaster that my life has now become. A lonely marathon where I am running totally numb. The screen turns to color bars, the programming is done. Just me and the static, waiting for the morning sun. I wanna smash the screen and plunge into the dark, erase the glowing image of your arrow in my heart. It's a 3 a.m. broadcast, speaking to the night, a digital companion in the artificial light. I'm wide awake and dreaming of the days when you were here, drowning in the static of another wasted year. The television preacher says to bow my head and pray, but God doesn't listen when you're this far away. Just static now. Nothing on the screen. Ooh. I'm standing at the pinball machine, challenging my fate. The carpet is glowing under the ultraviolet light. In this electronic sanctuary on a Saturday night, you used to stand beside me, cheering me on. Now I'm playing a one-player game, and you're gone. The pixels are fading, screens are burning out, and I'm trapped inside a maze of fear and doubt. I'm stranded in the corner of the last arcade, watching all our high scores slowly start to fade. I'm out of extra lives, I'm out of magic tokens. My spirit is crushed, and the joystick is broken. The game over screen is flashing red and bright, a digital heartbreak in the middle of the night. Our initials are carved on the side of the wooden frame, JD and MC, enclosed in a jagged flame. I drop another quarter, try to beat the boss, but every single victory feels like a total loss. The synthesizer music loops a tragic melody, mocking the lonely man that I've turned out to be. I wanna pull the plug and shut the whole thing down. I'm the saddest champion in this ghost town. I'm stranded in the corner of the last arcade, watching all the high scores slowly start to fade. I'm out of extra lives, I'm out of magic tokens. My spirit is crushed, and the joystick is broken. The game over screen is flashing red and bright, a digital heartbreak in the middle of the night. Game over, no more tokens. Ooh. 3,000 miles of highway stretching in between, the longest, darkest distance that I have ever seen. I finally found a payphone off of Interstate 9, praying for a miracle, praying for a sign. The operator patches me through the midnight cold. I've got 1,000 burning stories waiting to be told, but the weather's getting
nothing but static on the line. I hear you say my name, but it's swallowed by a hiss, a cruel electronic imitation of a kiss. You say it's raining in New York, it's dry in LA. We're talking about the weather when there's so much to say. I drop another quarter, desperate for a minute more, before the silence rushes in and settles the static on the line. Hello, are you there? Hello.
Television's off, the fire has died down. I'm the only breathing thing in this side of town. I'm sitting in the armchair where you used to read, bleeding out from a wound that just won't stop the bleed. The refrigerator hums a low and steady drone, a background track for a man who's left entirely alone. I never knew that quiet could be so incredibly loud. A heavy, suffocating blanket, a dark and heavy cloud. I'm listening to the symphony of silence in this room, a grand orchestration of impending doom. No more slamming doors, no more angry shouts, just the deafening roar of my own lonely doubts. Every creak in the floorboards is a painful melody, a beautiful tragic soundtrack written just for me. I thought I wanted peace, I thought I needed space, but now I give my life just to see hear your high heels walking across the wooden floor. But the house is like a museum, perfectly still, a monument to a destiny we couldn't fulfill. The quiet is a hammer pounding on my brain. I'm begging for the noise to come and wash away the pain. I'm listening to the symphony of silence in this room, a grand orchestration of impending doom. No more slamming doors, no more angry shouts, just the deafening roar of my own lonely doubts. Every creak in the floorboards is a painful melody, a beautiful tragic soundtrack written just for me. So quiet, too quiet. Park my car on the very last road tonight, facing a giant screen that's lost its brilliant light. The speaker box is hanging by a rusted wire, a metal skeleton of our teenage fire. We used to sit upon the hood and watch the stars, dreaming of a future that would take us very far. Now the weeds are growing through the cracked concrete, and the silence in the air feels painfully complete. I'm sitting at the last drive-in, all alone, watching a silent movie on a screen of stone, projecting all my memories into the dark, trying to reignite a long-forgotten spark. There are no common attractions, the feature is all done, just a lonely ticket holder waiting for the sun. I trace your initials in the dust upon the dash, thinking how our grandest plans turned into ash. We drank cherry cola and we shared a salty kiss, ignorant of the sorrow, living in the blast. But the summer had to end, and the credits had to roll, leaving an empty parking lot inside my heavy soul.
fade to black. Roll the credits.
Gathered up the shoebox from the top shelf of the room, carrying our history through the heavy evening gloom. I knelt before the fireplace and struck a single match, knowing this is something that I can never reattach. And tickets to a show, everything we built together, everything we used to know. The flames are dancing high, turning memories into gold. A beautiful destruction of a story getting old. I'm burning the ashes of watching all the promises slowly float away, turning every I love you into smoke up in the sky. A solitary funeral for a long and drawn out lie. The fire keeps me warm, but my soul is freezing cold, standing of the love I couldn't hold. I dropped the final letter, the one written in red, the one where you apologize for all the tears I shed. It curls up at the edges and turns into a blackened flake, a fitting metaphor for a heart you had to break. I wipe a tear away as the embers softly glow, realizing I have nowhere else to turn, nowhere else to go. I wanna reach into the fire and pull the pictures back, but all that's left is carbon and a heavy, empty black. I'm burning the ashes of our yesterday, watching all the promises slowly float away, turning every I love you into smoke up in the sky. A solitary funeral for a long and drawn out lie. The fire keeps me warm, but my soul is freezing cold, standing in the ruins of the love I couldn't hold. Just smoke in the chimney, fading to gray.
tonight. I'm pushing 95 just to outrun the morning light. The dashboard is glowing with an eerie, sickly green. The saddest late night movie that I have ever seen. I reach out my right hand to change the radio dial, and for a split second I swear I see your smile. But my hand passes through the empty, freezing air, a cruel hallucination of a love that isn't there. There's a ghost in the passenger seat, riding next to me, a beautiful phantom of the girl you used to be. You're staring out the window, singing our own song, making me remember exactly where we went wrong. I'm driving to nowhere, trapped inside this steel machine, haunted by the memory of my missing teenage queen. I passed by the exit where we used to stop and rest, where you would lay your weary head upon my heavy chest. The diner is still open, the sign is burning bright, but I can't bring myself to pull over in the night, because drinking black coffee, sitting all alone, would only amplify the ache inside my very bones.
leaving behind a field of trampled snow. The ticket booth is boarded up and dark, a ghost town standing in the county park. I wandered down the midway just to see the place where you first gave your heart to me. But the cotton candy clouds have turned to gray, and the magic of that summer slipped away. We're stuck upon this rusted Ferris wheel, hanging in the air, forgetting how to feel, going round and round, but never touching down. The saddest spectacle in this empty town. We reached the top and touched the starry sky, but now there's nothing left to do but cry. I can still hear the carousel playing its tune underneath the glow of an August moon. You won me a stuffed bear at the shooting range. It's funny how the sweetest things can change. The gears are locked, the iron frame is cold, a story of a heartbreak prematurely told. I wanna jump, but it's too far to fall. I'm trapped inside this rusted iron cage, losing it all. We're stuck upon this rusted Ferris wheel, hanging in the air, forgetting how to feel, going round and round, but never touching down. The saddest spectacle in this empty town. We reached the top and touched the starry sky, but now there's nothing left to do but cry. Just going round, but never touching down.
of the velvet sofa chair. tiny piece of metal hiding in the shadows there. You must have lost it when you packed your bags in such a rush, leaving behind this quiet, devastating hush. I held it in my palm, feeling the weight of the past, a beautiful illusion that was never meant to last. I pressed the little button on the side to pop it free, to look at the tiny picture of how we used to be. A silver locket holding a golden memory, a miniature portrait of a captured destiny. We were smiling at the camera on the Santa Monica Pier before the ocean swallowed up everything we hold dear. Now I'm wearing it around my neck on a broken chain, a shiny, heavy pendulum swinging with the pain. Her face is black and white, frozen in a lap, a tiny perfect fragment torn completely in half. I wonder if you're looking for it, searching high and low, or if you left it purposefully because you wanted me to know that I can keep the picture, but I cannot keep the girl. A cool consolation prize at the end of the world. I snapped the locket shut to lock the ghost inside, but there isn't anywhere for my broken soul to hide. A silver locket holding a golden memory, a miniature portrait of a captured destiny. We were smiling at the camera on the Santa Monica Pier before the ocean swallowed up everything we hold dear. Now I'm wearing it around my neck on a broken chain, a shiny, heavy pendulum swinging with the pain. Heavy around my neck, a silver chain. Sneaking through the hotel blind, shining a light on
what you left behind. The sheets are still warm on the right side of the bed, but you vanished like a ghost while I was resting my head. A note on the nightstand, written in a rush, saying I'm sorry, breaking the quiet hush. I pour a shot of whiskey to steady my shaking head, trying to find a reason I can understand. was cleaning out the glove box of my Chevrolet, and a piece of yellow paper fluttered my way. A torn movie ticket from the summer of '84, the night we sat in the dark and wanted something more. We held hands through the ending, crying at the screen, lost inside the magic of the Hollywood dream. But the credits had to roll and the lights had to rise, exposing all the truth behind our teary eyes. We're just like these torn ticket stubs, half of a hole in the game of love. I've got the left side, you've got the right, severed in the middle of a lonely night. We paid the price of admission, we took the ride. Now I'm standing at the exit, nowhere left to hide. I wonder if you kept your half inside your purse, or if you threw it to the wind like a broken curse. Sometimes I close my eyes and I can smell the popcorn air and feel the gentle way you used to stroke my hair. But movies are just fiction and actors play a part, unlike the very real breaking of my beating I buy a million tickets to see you once again, to rewrite the ending of this tragic script on play. We're just like these torn ticket stubs, half of a hole in the game of love. I've got the left side, you've got the right, severed in the middle of a lonely night. We paid the price of admission, we took the ride. Now I'm standing at the exit, nowhere left to hide. Torn in two, just like me and you. The bartender's wiping down the counter for the night, flipping the switch on the last fluorescent light. I'm sitting in the corner booth, staring at the ash, watching all our history burn up in a flash. You were a wild flame, beautiful and so untamed. I was just the moth flying in, completely unashamed. Now my lungs are heavy and my eyes are stinging red, running from the demons that I hide. the cherry out in the heavy blast tray, wishing I could crush the memories exactly the same way. You wore a leather skirt, I wore my denim jacket then. We thought that we could conquer the world and actually win. But reality is a harsh and sobering morning light. It snuffed out the magic we created in the night. I'm suffocated in the ashes of our glorious past, a chemical romance that was never built to last. We were running on neon and nicotine, the brightest, fastest tragedy the city'd ever seen. Burning from both ends, chasing the ultimate high. We didn't know we were racing towards a long goodbye. Now the smoke is clearing, curling up to the ceiling fan, and I'm just a hollowed out, broken kind.